Welcome to our Thursday night live stream.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and X.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon. That way, every single time we get a cold snap, you'll be alerted to it. You've got the heater on.
It's 55 degrees outside.
Oh my gosh. It's baldness. I'm sorry.
It's cold.
It is a bald thing.
I'm wearing pants.
All of the normal common temperature of like it's 55, so it feels delicious, goes right out your head.
Listen, here's the problem. Okay.
Tell me.
The problem is so when it drops to 50s and 60s, I'm turning the heat on to bring it to the 70s. And the reason is, listen to my logic.
Free air conditioning.
It's not free air conditioning. It costs me more money.
It's free real estate.
Here's why. Because what happens is when the cold snap is over in like 2 days, and then it's like 78, 85 degrees, and then when we put the air conditioner on to 72, you're like, it's so hot. So the best thing to do is don't get accustomed to the cold temperature, because otherwise you make me turn the air conditioner to 65. And listen, we're trying to run electric on 2 houses right now, and it's ridiculous, especially considering our meter on our Fort Lauderdale house is broken.
Right.
They just put a new one in. If you remember a few months ago, it caught fire. They put a new one in. Well, they can't read it electronically. So I called a month ago. I need a new meter. They never called me back. So right now they are guesstimating our bill based on previous consumption. Only Caleb is living there.
Right.
So my bill should be 50% of what it was, yet they're still charging us $500 a month.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit because I love your point. But what I'm hearing is you don't want me to get used to nice things.
I don't want you to get used to the cold.
That's what I'm hearing.
The cold. That's it.
I don't want you to even enjoy the good times when the air is free.
I'm cold.
Because you might get used to it, and then I would have to facilitate more of that temperature. Is that what y'all are hearing? Because that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
Welcome to our Thursday live stream. If you're new here, our Thursday live streams are a chance to hang out with the community and just kind of complain about things that are going on in our lives.
Clearly.
So we like to answer questions and comments about keto, carnivore, pretty much anything else within reason, whatever the chat dictates. So if you have a question, go ahead and type question and then your question, or use the super chat function, which we greatly appreciate. Listen, I'm so cold that I'm wearing pants and I had to have coffee.
I am so warm that I had to have coffee because coffee. It doesn't really have to be. It
doesn't have to be.
You gotta be cold or hot to have a coffee? No.
Okay, let's jump right into the chat. I did say Easy Peasy Keto said it's 32 degrees in Northwest Ohio.
Ooh.
No, that's too cold.
That is very cold.
Mary said we just arrived in Florida a couple days ago from Canada. It feels just as cold here tonight. Yeah, it's...
Serena is here. I love you, beautiful lady. How are you doing today?
People saying it's 50 degrees.
50.
Tony said, great news. My son-in-law Jesse is coming home from the hospital tonight. That is awesome.
Oh, that is awesome. He's going to be there for Thanksgiving. That is so stinking cool. That is awesome.
Matt said, I can see the avocados in the background.
Yes, they're always there. Just know that they're always there. They move around, and if we see Peyton, that's the first thing she goes for, Matt. I'm sure you can understand. It's like, that's a stuffy right in the room. It's like,
John said, is it too late to get vacation insurance for the 2KK cruise? No. So we can get it through a company called Allianz. You can either get for the trip or you can get an annual plan.
Sounds fancy.
But we're coming up. We need to get that done if you want to get it done. But we can. I will tell you for a single trip, it's depends on age and state. I mean, it's kind of weird. I've seen people literally on the same day buy it where one person pays $100 and one person pays $270 because it's based on age and the state you live in.
Well, John is 21
Because
years
evidently
old.
the state you live in determines how healthy you are according to insurance companies.
That is wild.
Right? Like you're a bigger risk if you're in a certain state.
I'll never forget when I was in Virginia, and
But we cannot get it through the cruise line.
I was like in charge of an HR department, and we got like a huge like increase in our health insurance for the company, and I was like, why are the rates going up so high? And the person we were working with at the insurance company said, because somebody in your company got pregnant. And I was like, well, yeah, but like we didn't all have a baby. Why is everybody's? And they said, because it's contagious.
Matt said it's
like,
going to be in the
really?
40s for the next couple of days up in Claremont. They're about an hour north of us.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
Okay, so I'm going to go over here and go to some, again, if you have a question, anything like that.
Do you know what? Right before we came on, do you know what movie that I was watching that I have not watched in a minute? Since I see Mommy is here, she'll appreciate it. Born Yesterday, like the 1950 version with Judy Holliday. Oh my gosh, hilarious. Such a cute movie.
Joe said it's my 61st birthday tomorrow, driving up to
Yay!
Lakeland tomorrow, driving home down US 27 on Sunday.
I am so glad to see you, Joe. I was hoping that you would be here. It's also going to be Donna Joe's birthday tomorrow. Donna Joe, if you're here, let us know. So let's sing to Joe. You ready?
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joe. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many more. Love you, Joe. I'm so stinking excited that you were here, and that also we're going to have an opportunity on the 2KK cruise to celebrate his birthday with him.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, I'm so excited that you're going.
Trish
And your wife.
Trish said in New York we can't get canceled for any reason trip insurance. It stinks because of one of the perks for loyalty with Princess Cruises.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, New York is kind of weird with insurance. Like, I know Royal Caribbean won't even do insurance in New York. You have to go through outside companies like Allianz and stuff like that.
It's very strange.
Matt said, Joe, have you ever printed a lithophane? I'm printing my first one. No, I haven't. I meant to, but just we got so busy with a bunch of other stuff. I actually brought up our 3D printer because I need to print a vent box so I can close up the bedroom wall that shares the bathroom wall, but I need a box for a vent.
Can we talk about the fact that, you know what I'm thankful for? Ice. I had ice in my water. I had ice water, you guys. We have not had ice because we have not had a refrigerator with any kind of water line or anything. And I got to tell you, people ask us like, you know, why have you prioritized strength training? I didn't know it when I started the Savage System, but I was going to have to help Joe carry a refrigerator up 2 flights of stairs into the house. I was not ready for that.
It was heavy.
And if you think that moving a refrigerator up the stairs is hard, when we realized that we needed to take the door off of the front door in order to get the refrigerator in.
And the doors off the fridge.
We had to pull it down the stairs once again, and I think that was almost more scary because like there's a momentum and a prayer that goes with getting something up something when you're having to absorb the weight and hold it. Like, to me, that was even more scarier, but I was really excited. And can we say, thanks to the liquidator, we were able to get, it was like a $4,000 refrigerator.
Yep.
How are refrigerators that expensive? But we paid $700 for it.
Yeah.
Scratch and dent. It actually had the Stauffer scratch on it.
It has a little dental on the bottom, but I don't care.
All of our refrigerators.
Every one of our refrigerators has always been scratch and dent.
Always been a scratch and dent.
I can't afford $3,000 to $5,000 for a fridge.
That was crazy.
Oh, it was
to me.
missing a handle.
But we were able to buy it.
I was able to order the handle. It cost me $25, and he actually gave me $50 back when he realized that it was missing a handle. So.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I wanted to mention, I cannot stop eating these. This is the new tallow brick.
My gosh.
So I had messaged Robert today.
Yes.
They are going to be making more.
Yay!
So if you missed out on these, they're going to be making more.
They are. And I'm telling you, just like we said in the video, you know, when you get into kind of like, you feel like it's a problem or restriction or like you're having to switch gears and you're like, I don't like this thing. sometimes the best ideas emerge out of a situation where you just have to make something work. And I gotta tell you, beef tallow for the win.
Yeah.
I think that if he could go in a time machine now that it's going on, he'd be beef tallow from day one. Right?
Yep.
I mean, beef tallow is where it's at, dude.
Okay, Lady Fritzer said, you've done several recipes for the Stuffler.
Yes.
What is the cleanest, best texture taste recipe in your opinion? I know the keto chow one, but prefer no almond flour.
We did a basic
we
batter.
We did one with pork rinds, was really good.
Yeah, that one was really good. If I can, I'll look through it. If you just look up Stuffler on our it's under recipes.
Yep.
On twoCrazyKetos.com, look for the stuff, just the Stuffler recipes, and excuse me, that's among them.
So John said there isn't a fridge ice maker that can keep up with how much ice I use. I have a tabletop ice machine that makes 30 pounds.
Ooh,
so yeah,
jealous.
We had the same problem in our other house. We had the one where it's got two ice makers, one up on top, and then the bottom one it makes the craft round things.
The balls.
The craft balls.
Balls.
And then that still wasn't enough ice. So we have
Big
another
balls.
refrigerator that was always out on the patio. And I hooked that one up to the hose line along with a water filter. And then there's a water filter inside of it. And then this way we had a lot of ice. And we are bringing one of those fridges here. So we have one in the house and then another one out on the patio.
I feel like I thought to myself, once we got the refrigerator, I mean, we get the refrigerator, like, why do we get that refrigerator? Because it was the one on sale. Like,
right.
that is...
I generally buy one if it can have two ice makers.
But I was like, what was it? Like, the tipsy person refrigerator? Like, why is it that it primarily makes ice for, like, alcoholic beverages?
It's a big deal.
It's like a whiskey ball.
Yeah, well, that's because they don't melt as fast. So you don't
I
water
get
down
it,
your
but
whiskey.
like, so you're saying that they anticipate that whoever buys that refrigerator is always going to drink more whiskey than water?
Well, no, because it comes with both ice makers, the top and the
top
bottom.
one?
The door one with regular ice plus the craft
But the door
ball
one can never keep up with the consumption.
Well, that's because
we need another one.
I only use 3 or 4 cubes, but we have some people in the family that would like fill up the whole glass, and I'm like, you just emptied the whole ice thing.
You know what would help with my ice consumption if you'd keep the house cooler.
Now, when I went to the liquidator, I'd seen he put pictures up. He had one of those commercial like ice machines that you would find at...
Did you tell him yes if we call us if you find that?
He had one on the pictures that they were going to have today that you would find like in a hotel.
Yes.
And by the time I got there, it was gone. Because I would have bought that and put it on the patio. I would have bought that.
I don't even care if we...
He had a lot of appliances today, but no stoves. That's the last thing we need is a stove.
Second bathroom or ice machine. I gotta tell you, a commercial ice machine, like like for me and John, where we've got unlimited buckets of ice.
Right.
We may be having
I just don't like a lot of ice.
3-bedroom, 1
it
bathroom.
It waters down your drink, and then if you go to a fountain place, like, I'm paying for the soda or whatever I'm getting. So, like, I'm not going to use your ice, and then I want a full thing.
Caleb does not like watered down drinks, and so if we go to a restaurant, he'll order a Diet Coke, and if they try to bring a second one, he's like, oh no, please take that back, because now I am very worried that the ice is just gonna sweat, it's just gonna be watered down. Like, I am so sorry, thank you for extra, but like, he cannot take watered down drinks.
Serena said, waiting for my new keto brick to come, and I just about hit a deer just now.
Oh,
please be careful.
Oh no, I'm so glad that was an almost. Thank you that you're safe.
Paul said, my current computer was missing a Dell label on the back, scratch and dent discount down to $200 from a retail of $900. Nothing like 7 label making a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's, Rachel will put magnets across it.
We have like student driver.
One of our ones in our old house, we actually put a student driver magnet across it. So it is what it is. By the way, speaking of computers, my new computer's over here. When I was talking to Sarah, when she was asking about computers,
yeah.
So for people who are looking, I know it's not a keto thing, but if you're buying Apple stuff, I'm going to give you a suggestion. If you're looking to save some money, maybe you want to buy a computer for yourself for Christmas or for family or anything Apple. If you go to an Apple website, down on the bottom, there's a whole bunch of links. You have like the Apple for Education. So if you or anybody in your family,
literally anyone,
is going to school, they don't even verify stuff. I hate to say that because people will take advantage of it, but if you have a grandson going to school, you can do Apple for Education and you get a discount. But there's something down there called Apple Certified Refurbished. Most people don't know about this. And their products, maybe somebody bought it, they didn't like it, they returned it, or they did a trade-in. Apple completely refurbishes it. A lot of times they put new screens on it. They put in a new case. But when you buy from there, you save a lot of money, and it comes with the full Apple warranty. So like you can literally buy a computer like last year's computer, or even one that was only a couple months ago, and you can save like 15-20%. And really, when you get it, you would never know it's a refurbished.
Yeah.
Comes with a full Apple warranty. The only thing it generally doesn't come with is the actual white Apple box. It comes usually in a cardboard box.
Right.
But they, like, if this case had scratches on it, they put a new case on it. So it looks brand new, and you have the full warranty. So it's not like, oh, you only get 90 days. You get the full year warranty.
It's not like when I
always tell people about that.
It's not like when I used to get my irregular pantyhose from Sears Surplus. I don't know if you've ever had irregular pantyhose, but those are the worst. The worst. Because there is nothing like trying to get through your day with the crotch not where it's supposed to be. Sometimes it's like down your leg. One leg is longer than the other leg or something. It's not like that. You're going to get a really nice computer, and then it's not going to fit like a regular pantyhose.
Trish said, talk about functional fitness. I went downstairs to the freezer to get bacon. 1.5 later, I returned. I cleaned, organized, decluttered the whole garage before finding the bacon.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Way to go.
Matt said, Rachel, I'm still doing the balls push-up challenge. Now you've said it 3 times, getting down to business.
Oh my goodness. You're amazing. I am going to say, Trish, though, like, immediately after that, my first thought is Joe's going to be like, hey, Rachel, there's like 3 rooms that you need to look for bacon and declutter and fix.
Tony said, heading to Universal Studios a couple days before the 2K cruise. So
How
excited.
Fun. What ride are you most looking forward to is my question.
Mommy said, hit the thumbs up. Please do that. I appreciate that.
I was revisiting a video from a couple years ago where she's talking about like Thanksgiving is different since keto. But like I was asking her, did she have some regrets? I need to put that little clip up. And she was saying it's different, yes. However, sometimes you have to make some changes in your life in order to do things that are important to you, like going for a long walk or being able to ride a bike. And I thought that's really powerful. That it's not just like, yeah, you have to do some things differently. Thanksgiving doesn't necessarily look exactly like it looked pre-keto, but the wins, she's like the health, the feeling younger, the looking younger than you are. Right. Like, that's worth it. Yeah. I love that.
Paul said you need double balled ice makers.
Double balled ice makers.
Serena said, I'm with Joe, less ice.
Serena.
John said, last cruise, I emptied a few ice machines.
Me and you, babe, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's make Royal Caribbean regret that they don't have more ice machines on board, because we will do that thing.
Andrea said, I prefer no ice. Room temperature is better for you.
Come on. I will say that I find on Royal Caribbean, because, different people, different preferences. And so a lot of times when you have like, the beverage area, they have water in the windjammer, and they'll have some with ice and some with no ice, just filled glass of water, because some people do like tepid water.
John said, so you want to save money? Don't buy an apple. Hey, listen, don't come after my apple.
Oh, he loves his apples.
I love my apple. But here's the thing. My computer, my laptop that I'm using right here, this is a 4-year-old laptop, and I'm getting only $500 less than I paid for it 4 years ago. So
wow.
They do hold their value a lot more than when you buy
Commodore 64
a PC. Listen, I mean, I would say this. I mean, when it comes to video editing, Apple really is the best thing. And that's why most professional videographers, photographers, they all use Apple, especially the new Apple Silicon. Nothing can touch it. But if you're enveloped in the ecosystem of Apple, it makes a lot more sense. Like, it's cool to be able to be working on a document and literally pick up my phone and finish the document on my phone or my iPad. The way the ecosystem works is really well. If you only have one thing, I don't know if it's as worth it. If you're
if you have one, like if you don't have an Apple phone, you want to get the computer, but you don't have an iPad.
Like the computer is one thing, but when you get into everything else, like if you're not using Apple iPhones, I wouldn't get an iPad. Like okay. I would get into the Android devices because they have their ecosystem.
Whatever this is kind
of the computer's a little different.
It forces you to sort of pick a side, be brand loyal to something.
Right.
It's not like laundry detergent. You can do whatever. But like
the biggest problem that a lot of people have with Apple is that proprietary, you can't hack into it, but that's a good thing. That's why they really don't get viruses. You may get malware once in a while, but you don't really get viruses.
Malware?
Yeah, that's where you get all of a sudden all these pop-ups showing up on your computer and stuff like that.
Like they have in movies, where it's like they send you a virus and it's like porn.
Well, it's more of it's just but it's a simple thing to take off on an Apple computer. Or things that are just watching everything you do. But we don't need that. All you need is a Facebook app on your phone. And
it was because I forgot what I was looking for the other day. And I know, it was like a piece of furniture. I was looking for like a table to go, a thin table to go behind the sofa. Furniture is expensive, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
I do.
But now that I look for it one time, like every single time I go into Facebook, every single time I'm on Instagram, it's like nothing but suggesting furniture stores to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it.
So Paul said, I think they do those refurbs on iPhones too. They do it on everything Apple. So you can literally get like the earbuds. You can get computers, iPads, iPhones, anything Apple TV. You can get anything Apple in the certified refurber store.
Good to know.
Tony's got a good question. It says, does it matter what brand turkey you buy for Thanksgiving? No. Well, yes.
Mommy's going to say Butterball.
There's no difference between Butterball and other ones. I know Mommy thinks that.
Don't get started with her.
Some of them, like Butterball is one of them, they inject more stuff into it. Okay. So it makes it, like Tastes Butterball, I think they inject like chicken broth into it. So it makes it juicier, but it is a bunch of chemicals.
Okay.
Honestly, like you have pasture-raised turkeys and then everything else.
Who can afford that?
But a pasture-raised turkey is going to cost you $175 to $250 for like a 16 to 20 pound bird. If you can even find a 20-pound bird. You usually won't find pasture-raised turkeys that big.
We eat the turkeys that have had kind of a rough life and end up at Aldi.
My suggestion is buy the cheapest thing. They really are all the same. A lot of them even come from the same company. People don't even realize that. It's kind of scary when you look into how they dispatch the turkeys and that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. But they all are generally injected with dextrose and water. They want to plump them up. You're getting down to the wire. If you're going to buy frozen, you would have to buy it like by tomorrow. Because if you were going to do a frozen turkey, you would have to start defrosting it by like Monday. But what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of those fresh turkeys, they were frozen.
They were frozen and they've just
and how long
thawed them out.
We learned
4 years.
Some of these turkeys, just to let you know, and we have this from good inside information from someone who works in
a grocery store.
Not just in a grocery store, but in the warehouse that supplies the grocery stores. Some of those turkeys have been in the freezer of your local grocery store's shipping warehouse for 3 or 4 years.
Well, you know what? That frees me up to go ahead and buy some when they're on the cheap. You know, after, because I would think to myself, oh, is it like, should I save one in the refrigerator? What if we don't, or in the freezer? What if I don't get to it for a couple of months? Like if I crack that puppy open in like February, am I still cool? Yes. It's been fine frozen, like no worries there. So I always like to get an extra. We would feed that like to the boys, even pre-keto. It made a great protein source that was very inexpensive and like you could eat on for a long time.
Bob said I buy refurbished 20 terabyte disk drives, much cheaper, running 5 in my NAS and 1 spare.
How cool.
That is cool.
Brilliant.
Joe said, used to buy apples I needed from the city from the Apple refurbished site. I've never bought a scratch and dent fridge either.
You don't know what you're missing when you have to like strategically put magnets in like one area.
When
like,
did
what happened here?
appliances get so expensive? Like, again, like $5,000 for fridges?
And things don't last long. I mean, we're that many years
They
old
aren't
where
even
we're
built to last.
moaning about like the state of like appliance prices and like how things don't last the way they used to be. But I'm gonna tell you, my grandparents were poor as church mice and had a top loader washer for my entire childhood. Like they only had one washing machine for the entirety of me knowing them. Like, how is it that a washing machine would last forever, and now if you get 2 or 3 years out of $1,000 one, you're like lucky? Like, how did that happen? It didn't used to be that way. I mean, I remember our first VCR. My dad was like threatening us with death, like be careful around this thing because it cost $800 for our first VCR. Now you can get them for, you know, $19. And it comes with attachments. But I think it's like weird that washer and dryers cost so much money. I was trying.
Ridiculous.
They are having like Black Friday sales because my mom got a house, but it has no washer and dryer. And I saw in Lowe's they were having just like a basic one.
Oh, Joe said I never bought a non-scratch and dent fridge.
Oh, okay, good. But it was like $477 for the washer and $477 for the dryer. Now it was like no frills.
Right.
I mean, your washer, I don't know how you're gonna live if your washer doesn't like text message you. Like everything
That
has.
fridge, by the way, it has Wi-Fi on it.
Why?
It will alert you if your door is open.
I mean, I guess I appreciate that, but like, I don't understand the whole.
I usually disconnect the dinging sound.
Keeping the contents.
No, well, you have the ones that where it's got a camera and you can look and see what's in your fridge.
I don't want, or is it camera on you? Because when you first are approaching the fridge, like first thing in the morning, I don't want to see that. It's videoing me.
John said I have a dedicated shelf in my upright freezer for bacon. No need for bacon hunt for me.
Wow.
Okay, so Debbie wants to know, has anybody ever bought the 30 package of keto bricks? If you so, do you like the selection? So what that is that's the mystery box. So the mystery box, you get a really good deal. You pay, I think it's like $270. How much does that come out to be a brick?
$9?
No.
$9 versus 12?
Is that what it comes out to be? Divided by 30. $9 a brick. As opposed to if you bought the 24 where you choose yourself, 12 multiplied by 24 equals divided by, so 24.
It's 12 versus 9, isn't it?
No, you get 25% off.
Okay.
That's what I was looking. 24 multiplied by 12.
I was told there'd be no math in this relationship.
I think it's 20%. Divided by...
Pull out. Pull out! It's a trap.
So $9.60. So
you're saving some money.
You save some decent money. So what the mystery box is they basically put together a bunch of bricks that they have. So it's the cool thing is when you get the mystery box, there'll be flavors like this one that they may throw in there. Because what happens is they make it's like any other company, like Keto Chow does this. So let's say they get 10,000 of a flavor in, okay? They ship everything out. When it clicks sold out, they always hold some back that doesn't go into the computer in case there was a problem with shipping. So if you get your order and it's damaged or it just disappears, Keto Child would have some to send to you. Keto Brick does the same thing. So they put X amount of bricks up for sale. So let's say 5,000 of the new flavor, whatever it is. They always hold some back that never hit the computer.
Because you never know.
Those are the ones where they have leftover ones. Those are the ones that go in the mystery box.
The only way, I'm gonna play devil's advocate over here. Unless you are a big time Keto Brick fan and you have tasted all the different flavors,
You'd have to be me and like them all.
I would not do mystery box because there may be one you like really don't like. And I find that depending on the brick, if people use like whey protein versus pea protein, like there's a different mouthfeel to these things. And so some people can have a very hard stance on like one or the other, and you might get both in that box. So I would go for
if you're gonna do that, you're saving 60 cents a brick,
which is
that's what it works out to be. So over the course of, if you got the 24 bricks, you get 20% off.
But still, that's a lot of money.
So you're saving 60 cents a brick with the mystery flavor, the mystery box, but you also got to spend more money because you're buying 30 bricks instead of 24 bricks. But with the 24, you can pick and choose whatever flavor you want. So pluses and minuses. Like, I like every flavor of Keto Brick. It wouldn't bother me as much. Whatever comes out, I buy 24 of them to like make sure I have.
This case was really glad that Joe did that. Sometimes I'm like, okay, well, are you going to get through all those? I have no doubt that we are going to eat, and quickly, all of the ones that are the beef tallow base. It's just the mouthfeel is like, it buckled my knees.
Trish said, I cooked up 9 pounds of bacon already this week, 6 more to go. I'm pre-cooking and vacuum sealing to take to family for Thanksgiving vacation.
That's cool. So brilliant. Like, no, I'm telling you what, bacon travels so well. Like, it is such a great snack. We have taken it to the movies. We have taken it on road trips. Like, it has been all the places. It's gone to Disney World. It's ridden on rides because bacon just travels really well.
Gina said, I love the show. Where do the updates on your ranch? Are you going to do any more of those? Yes, we have a vlog coming out probably Saturday. That's got an update of where we're at. We've just gotten, like, we've got a bunch of videos for a new channel. We just haven't started the new channel yet. But honestly, like, time's a ticking. and so I'm really just trying to concentrate on getting stuff done so that we can move in the house. Even if we're not finished with the house, we need to get the other house up for sale. And, it's, again, we financially can't afford to run 2 houses.
No.
I mean, and so we're trying to do whatever we can. And so I'm not working on other stuff so that I can get it done. But basically, we're up by 7:30 in the morning as soon as it's light out, because there's no lights in the house. We have a light in like the laundry area, and I have a light in the bathroom. There's no other lights, functioning lights in the bathroom. All in the house. All of the electric works, but I don't have any lights. And I don't really want to put fixtures up because I got to do the ceiling. So, like, I have to only work during the day. So as soon as the sun comes up, I'm start working, and then as the sun goes down, I quit working. But we do have a vlog coming out showing where we're at. So where we're at so far, for anybody who's interested, we have a bathroom. I just have to now paint it. I got to sand it, paint it, and then we got to do the ceiling. But it is a functioning bathroom.
I peed in it.
We have... Our bedroom is completely sheetrocked. I need to sand it and do the texture, which we're going to start working on that tomorrow. Our living room is... all the sheetrock is done. We need to sand it and texture it. We've started doing drywall in the kitchen, and that's where we're at. Oh, and Rachel did all of the insulation. So all of the insulation in the whole house, other than our bathroom, because we haven't even gotten in there, and Caleb's bedroom, which is basically a storage room right now for all of our building supplies.
My lungs are pretty much fiberglass at this point. It's funny. It's not as itchy as it used to be. I feel like fiberglass technology has really been great. I mean, I am as soon as I'm done with the day, I like have to shower and like rinse all of that like excess stuff that just gets on your skin no matter what you do off because it's itchy. But it's been amazing. And I'm glad that we changed all of that insulation because
The old stuff was horrible.
the old stuff was horrible.
Trish said, call me the Baconator.
The Baconator.
Carolyn said Adobe Creator Cloud needs a Mac. Well, they have Adobe for Macs. It costs so much money. I really want to cancel my Adobe. I don't use Premiere Pro anymore. I only use Final Cut, sometimes DaVinci, and they charge me like $38 a month, and literally I use 2 programs out of it.
Sorry.
It's like so expensive.
Uh-oh, Chris is here.
I have strong feelings about closed tech ecosystems. Yes, we know that very well, Chris.
Hey, Miriam.
Miriam is here and said, hello, lovelies. Let's see. Lots of people talking about Chris's comment. Chris, Tony said, do you know why I have an abundance of iron in all my blood tests? Does that mean I don't digest my meat?
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a nurse or a health professional. That's not something that most people I see have too low of iron.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something going on with your
an abundance of iron.
Yeah, Mommy says butterball.
Butterball.
Eileen said, we've happily been PC since 1990, our first computer, and still use the same email.
Oh, wow. My mom does too. My mom has an AOL address.
Chris said, I could buy a prime rib for that much. No way I'm spending that much money on a turkey.
Right.
Well, again, it's like, okay, so we've got 14 chickens we have 14 chickens, 2 of which are roosters. So we have 12 girls that are laying. We have another 9 babies, and we have 7 turkeys. We just had to buy feed. Just to let you know. You do not save any money raising chickens for eggs.
This is for fun.
Now, our chickens don't go through nearly as much feed as they used to. The feed is kind of supplemental because they
really
free
are
range. They literally
eating bugs and stuff.
They literally come out in the morning and they don't really go over to the field side. The turkeys do occasionally, but they stay within 2 or 3 acres and they are eating bugs and worms and everything else.
You see them running, chasing each other with
but there's no money
in
eggs. That's what. But when you look at, again, we've talked about this. If you go buy a baby turkey, you're gonna pay like $10 to $20 for it. If you buy a 6-month-old turkey or a 3 to 6-month-old turkey, you're gonna pay between $75 to $100 for that turkey. And they're not ready to slaughter, and they're not laying eggs yet.
So you have
to feed all of that. So that's why pasture-raised turkeys are so expensive. But it makes you wonder again.
What are they doing
to make them so cheap?
So I will say that, and Joe was saying this morning as he was cradling a turkey.
We have one girl that needs...
She needs some extra TLC. And Joe is like, I think I like the turkeys the bestest. And for me, I'm crazy chicken lady. I'm enjoying the turkeys. Certainly, I think that the turkeys are more inquisitive as far as they want to know, like, what are my people doing? So I was sitting so we have our babies and they sleep inside during the evening, but like during the day, if it's a nice sunny day, I have this outdoor space for them where they are safe from predators, but like they can kind of have a long grass run. And so I'm sitting inside of that run with the babies. Of course, where would mommy be? But in the cage. And so the turkeys are like, what are you doing? Like came right into just their heads, what are you doing in there? And then they're just circling the cage and like, because they're like, why is mom just here?
I just like the way the turkeys all stay together. If one disappears, like they all freak out. And the roosters, I'm finding the roosters very interesting too. And, I actually love hearing the roosters. But this morning there was one chicken, the one black chicken that kind of goes off on its own all the time.
Yeah.
She's the low man on the totem pole. She was in the turkey coop on the roost.
Yes. She thinks she wants to be a turkey when
So
she
I go in and I start talking to her. Why are you in here by yourself? I know. And
Therapy.
when I go to pet her, she freaks out and runs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, from under the RV, which is not, I mean,
It's far.
It's
a distance.
Probably about 40 yards. Here comes Larry, the rooster, bolting across like
What's wrong?
What's going on with this girl? You know, it is really amazing to see, like, the roosters are always the last ones that go into the hen house at night. Like, they literally will not go in until all the hens are in. It is kind of interesting to watch.
They're good bodyguards.
The way they round everybody up. And if there's one out, it starts, like, pushing it along. Like, get in there. It's time to go to bed. I find it interesting.
It's really
Chris
cool.
said even the never frozen turkeys are often frozen. It's silly. It is.
Yeah, it's kind of like, there is nothing, no freezing going on over here. And it's like, but there was. So why are you saying
frozen.
that?
Jennifer said, I buy the biggest turkey the store has. If I'm going to pick that bird, I want it to be worth my time.
Amen. Like,
I'm the same way.
That's how mommy is too. I think that also lends herself to like why she would kind of lean into, Butterball over the years, because there would be like all of the other, like, let's say Publix brand or Winn-Dixie or whatever, there'd be like a 12, 15 pound. She's like, where is the 25-pound turkey? Right. She's looking for like the Christmas Carol turkey,
right,
from Ebenezer Scrooge when he wakes up and realizes life is worth living. Like, I want that size bird.
Jesse said, which Monk Pack bars do you guys like? They're buy one get one free at Myers right now.
Nice.
I like the nut and seed ones. I do not like the granola ones. They're not bad. Like, I know Michelle likes the granola ones. But the nut and seed ones are much cleaner ingredients.
Yeah.
So I like those. They don't add a bunch of wonky fibers. Chris said, appliances got so expensive when the manufacturers decided you needed an internal camera so you can look at the contents when you're away from home.
Right. It's like things you don't need. I just need it to be functioning. I need to be able to count on it. And I got to tell you, anytime I see a ton of bells and whistles, it actually scares me, because I'm assuming that we're not going to be ginger enough with something and it's going to break.
This from the person that wanted the new technology, washer and dryer all on its own, like in one unit.
Why did I want that? Because I wanted features, or because I needed a small footprint, and you were like, I am not buying a stackable washer like for an apartment. We have way more laundry than that.
No.
So
but I mean, it doesn't wash as much clothes as a side by side. It takes longer, but
if we were in mommy's position and she has to buy just a normal size washer and dryer and she had a dedicated room for it, I would just be like, can we just get a top loader?
It did have a washer and dryer before.
Mom's?
Like, no, in this house. They had a washer and dryer next to it.
Yes. From...
They were standard size, but I mean, I like the new one. It's just, you have to be on top of the lint. That's the biggest thing. You have to, we cannot be lazy about the lint or it will stop drying. Lady Fritzer said,
you know where your lint is?
I want to smoke a brisket with the pork belly. You can do that.
Yeah.
We
have done that. Now, what are your recommendations for, like, do you have any brisket recommendations, like when to start that thing, or even when to start a turkey? Like, what is your usual game plan for Thanksgiving in case somebody is making something new?
So for a brisket, if you're doing a brisket for Thanksgiving, I just always got up at 5 a.m. and started it, but I started doing Chris's method, which I think works so much better.
Because Chris Bear is very efficient.
Well, doing it this way, if you do it at 5 a.m, everything's got to be planned. And again, you never know when a brisket is going to be done. I don't care what anybody says, you can't plan for a brisket to be done. Because you get what's called the stall. And you don't know how long that stall is going to be. The stall is where it hits 160 degrees and then it just sits there.
I hate all stalls.
And sometimes it's going to sit there for an hour. Sometimes it could. I've seen it stall for 2.5 hours.
2 years.
So the idea behind doing your brisket in a smoker is low and slow. You those first few hours, you really want. That's where you're going to get all the smoke flavor. That's where you get the beautiful smoke ring. So that's why you cook it until it's 165 degrees, then you wrap it, and that helps it get over the stall until you get to about 205, 210 degrees. But again, you don't know how long it's going to be and how big the brisket is. And then you have to let it rest for an hour. So like you can plan all you want for that brisket to be ready at 3 o'clock. And sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be. So doing it Chris's method, this is what we do now. We put it in the smoker the night before, about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, at the lowest setting that your smoker will go to. Now, if you have an electric smoker that's like 120 degrees, you want to put it like 160. Most pellet smokers, things like that, 160, 170 degrees. Lowest setting, all night long. Just let it go.
All night long.
Then in the morning, you wrap it. Because in the morning, it will be at that 165, 170 degree temperature.
You wrap it.
You wrap it.
You wrap it.
Yeah. So now you just have to get it to 210 degrees. It probably only take you 2 or 3 hours, but then you can just drop the temperature down to 205, 210 degrees, let it sit there. Put it in your oven.
Enjoy your life.
Let it rest. But now you know it will be done when you want to serve it.
Have you ever been held hostage by a brisket? Well, today we're going to learn that there's freedom on the other side.
And turkeys, it completely depends on how you want to cook it.
What's the best way for you?
Fried.
Fried?
Deep fried turkey is the best turkey you'll ever have. And now...
What are you frying it in now?
Well, you used to fry it in peanut oil.
Now what are you doing?
I just found a website, and I'm planning on doing it like sometime like before Christmas for us, like because we're by ourselves. And I need a big fryer anyway because we need something to be able to that holds a chicken, so that when you want to dispatch them, you can dip them in warm water to make the feathers come off. So you use the same thing that you would use to fry a turkey. Anyway, I found a website that sells big blocks of beef tallow, like for buffalo, like for deep frying, where you can buy a big block of beef tallow. Specifically made to deep? I don't want to do a link until I've tested it.
Are we going to have to put this on layaway like at Kmart years ago, or like can we afford a block of beef tallow? No,
it's cheaper than peanut oil.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's cheaper than peanut oil because
Where
peanut
are you
oil is not
getting
cheap.
this from?
I got it. I got it.
You got a beef tallow guy? Is that what you're saying?
I found a website that sells it for restaurants and stuff like that, but they sell to the public. And so I want to. Can you imagine a turkey deep fried in beef tallow?
Well, now I can't think of anything else.
Like, how good would that be?
Really good.
Yeah, because there is no better way than deep frying a turkey. That is the best way.
What do you
Second
think?
one is smoking.
Let us know in the chat. What's the best way? What's the worst way to you? What's the least favorable way for you? Anything that you just don't like?
I'm not a big fan of just like turkey cooked in those bags.
I don't mind the bag.
Well, first of all, the bag is plastic.
I don't mind cooking it that way. My grandfather.
The next way is the sous vide.
But you know what I've never been I've never really thoroughly enjoyed is when I just do a breast. When I just do I know that's weird. But like I've tried to do it where I'm like, you know what? Everybody just wants a breast. I'm just gonna make a breast, and if I do that, it's like you need the rest of the bird for it to taste perfect.
Yeah. Lynn said my washer and dryer both have Wi-Fi. Yeah, I know. Our new washer has it now. Evidently, there's a whole app and you can control it. And I guess I can see the benefit. I just haven't bothered hooking it up to ours yet. I can see the benefit with ours because ours is a washer and dryer all in one.
So you can say move it to the dryer.
So you can tell it I don't want it to dry. I only want it to wash. You can see where you're at because maybe you have certain items in there that you want to hang dry. So it will alert your phone to let you know, hey, the washing cycle has ended. We're going to start the drying cycle. So now you can pause it and go get out whatever.
Keep me updated.
Delicates and things like that.
I don't want to miss a minute.
So, and again, because you have a washer and dryer combo, the thing is that, you know, it takes longer. An average load is going to take 2 to 2.5 hours. But, you know, whereas maybe a normal wash load takes 30 to 45 minutes, and then you can put it in the dryer and start another load. You can't start this one until it's done. You can't start your next load until it's washed and dried and everything.
Is this what empty nesting looks like? We just spend a lot of time talking to chickens in washers and dryers? Is that it?
Chris said, what? A mystery box has a mystery?
Ooh.
Eileen said my new tasty air fryer arrives tomorrow. I can't wait to try it.
It's so good. And so mommy's been using hers too, because she got one for the Arcadia property, and it's just so easy to use.
Chris said Keto Chow does the same with random flavors that are sold out, but we put them on the shelf at our retail storefront.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Lady Fritzer said, I'm with Rachel.
Thank you.
Be ready to not like them at all. You will be informed and educated by experience.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know, because it's just that's a big purchase. I like to know that what I'm getting.
Jennifer said, I'm going to ice my
Speculoos
Keto Chow cookies in Keto Brick Cake Pop. That sounds really good.
You absolutely could. I don't know if you've tried it or not, but like get that. It is, I thought that it's the perfect icing. Totally perfect icing. Like I'm going to melt some of those down into like, I could even see putting them into molds, like silicone molds, and decorating with them. Like it is just got a perfect frosting consistency. If you just made it a little bit heated up, just a little bit warm, you would be able to spread it. Yeah. No problem at all.
Laquetta said, my thought of the new channel, houses beyond the couch, so why not just add it?
Yeah.
The reason is, first of all, the farm channel.
Some people get very upset if you
Some people get very upset. We already get a lot of hate comments from people like,
I don't want to see that RV.
I don't want to see anything diving about your RV thing or your diving. We have people who don't want to see vlogs. They just want to see recipes. And I mean, so we try to keep everything. We are already kind of diversified on the Keto channel. But the other thing is that the other channel that we're going to do is yes, we're going to have our house build and stuff and like some of the renovation, certain tax purposes is why I'm doing that. But it is going to go more into like a homesteading type channel. So the whole idea of like being on a homestead, the whole reason we're moving here is to be more self-sufficient so that we can have pasture-raised turkeys without paying $175 for them.
Right.
You know, again, we have 4 hens, three tom turkeys. So we can next year at this time have
some babies,
30 or 40 eggs that have hatched, and where we can sell off some of them and then also have a couple of turkeys for us to eat. That is the goal. After the 2KK cruise, we're going to buy a bunch of broiler chickens. They're ready to butcher in 8 to 10 weeks. So just like a whole bunch of them, and then you have a 1 or 2 day dispatch party.
It's not going to be a party.
Once I dispatch them, you can help with the feathers and stuff.
I can do that.
Right? Just you want the head off. Yeah. But that is the goal, and so that would all be featured on the channel. I don't think it's a good place to have on this channel because not everybody wants to see a bunch of farming and sheep and all that kind of stuff.
They think it's bad.
Dustin said, Joe and Rachel, do you have a time turner? 2 Crazy Ketos, the only way I figure out you can fit as much as you do. Thank you very much. And for the nod to Harry Potter.
I absolutely would love a time turner. That'd be awesome.
I don't know how we do it. I feel so far behind. I mean,
I feel apologetic.
If I dodge one more phone call or text from Hugh, I don't even like. He sent me another text tonight. Do you have time to chat? Like, I know he has a bunch of students, but I just don't have time. But I feel like I'm disappointing him because he just took ownership of the store. And,
oh, neat.
And I miss diving. I miss being in the water, but it just, you got to focus on certain things, and right now the house is the priority. Chris said, Rachel's amazing. She told me so herself. Kathy said, I know what you guys are going through. Times higher here in Alabama, and almost time to pay taxes again.
Oh my gosh, our bill for the Creek property is waiting at home.
Dustin, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Said Joe Dustin. Makes me want a nap.
Aw, I love you. You still have an AOL address I got in 1996. Remember when you got all of the AOL CDs that came in and the mail used to be like, and I'd get really excited and be like, oh, this isn't like 13 CDs for $1 place. This is just another AOL. What happened? What happened to all?
A lot of people still have AOL.
Does anybody still have the discs, the DVD, the CD things?
No. Carolyn said I use CC for work. I have used a PC, but Mac is so much better. It's just the way they work with things. Paul said, AOL, back when the internet was free every month with a new CD, a new activation number each month. I did that. I remember doing, but then you always had new email addresses.
Carrie, thank you. I like that the turkey got on top of that roof. The funniest thing was, yes, so the turkeys really are stretching their wings. They left our 6 acres, walked down the street while I was putting insulation in the house, and went into a neighbor's tree. So I got to meet a new neighbor, a lovely young woman. And she's like, do you have turkeys? And I was like, yes. And she's like, well, they're all sitting in my tree. So
they'll come home.
She has a really fun tree. And so at least they followed me home. Like, I appreciate that we walked back together after I said, like, I can't believe you guys. But sometimes they get up on top of things and they're not quite sure how to get back down yet. And so then they just start crying for mom, like, come see me. And it reminds me of when the kids would be like, hey, I've been working on this cartwheel and I really want you to come out and look at it, right? Over and over. So I'm like, you can come down. And it was crying. And I'm like, no one has asked you to be up on this roof. Like, right. No one has forced you up here. Like, you could just fly down and be done with it. And finally, she did.
Laquetta said, my turkeys make me cuddle with them if I'm standing on the porch.
How neat.
Here's a good person to ask. Laquetta, I want more hens. Somebody else doesn't, but I do. Because the turkeys give her agita because they like to go in trees. It doesn't bother me. I know they're going to come home. Can you easily introduce turkeys to an existing flock? Like, chickens are a pain in the butt. But I'm wondering if turkeys are social, they're harder to introduce a new chicken to the flock because they're nasty to new ones.
They can be like mean girls.
So I'm curious, because turkeys are such flock animals, can you just throw another hen in there, or do they have a pecking order too?
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
I definitely think
because I want more hens, because we have 3 toms and 4 hens, but I want more hens. Because I worry about the toms, like too many toms for only 4 hens.
But I will say that the chickens, like, there is such a hazing process that goes to introducing the new ones. We have learned you have to, if you want to introduce new hens, they've got to be about equal size. Yep. You want new chickens in that?
We finally got the 4 new ones.
They're about the same
going
size.
Into the, but they're still young. So yeah, they're finally going in the hen house.
Because they get so scared. And Bessie is like old. She's one of the OGs. Like, she's old, and she's the sweetest thing to us, but she is so, like, she's so mean to the newbies. I mean, she welcomes them eventually, but she wants them to know that she is the boss lady.
And she's not even on top of the pecking order.
I know.
Chris said, when I wrap the brisket, I take it out of the smoker and use the oven. No reason to use wood to heat it if it's wrapped. Yep.
Yes. Chris loves to wrap.
Jennifer said, I've had good luck with brisket timing in my Nova oven, but I inject it, brine it for 2 days, cook it for 25 hours, and now that's being held hostage by a brisket.
What do you like to inject your turkey with if you were, like, shooting it up all over the skin?
If I'm doing an injection, I do a combination of butter and
Botox.
Garlic.
No.
Just butter and garlic.
Okay, just garlic and butter.
Just butter and garlic.
No Botox.
No. Because when you inject it in there, you're going to get it in there. You got to bring the turkey to room temperature. But it just makes the inside so juicy. But for the most part, I like to brine a turkey. Just salt water for a day.
What's a Thanksgiving fail you've experienced? Is there any Thanksgiving, like, I learned from that?
No, Thanksgiving's pretty easy.
I think that I have learned to calm down a little bit with the perfection side of it. You know, I used to really just be stressed. Did every single person get exactly what they wanted to eat? I did the same thing at Christmas, and I'm starting in my old age to, like, let that go. Yeah. That this is not your last meal. Hopefully, I hope that this is not your last meal, children. And you'll find something that you like, and if you don't like everything, you'll live. But I used to not feel that way. I used to, like, really be stressed out.
Amy said we've started out brisket at 6 p.m. for a 2 p.m. eat time the next day with a 2-hour rest period. Yeah.
That sounds good.
I was like, what? Okay, it's for the next day. Jennifer said, I'll send you my bacon grease. I didn't think about bacon grease. That'd be good too. Yeah, deep fry a turkey in bacon grease. That'd be a lot of bacon grease though.
I am willing to accept that challenge. Yes, Dustin is correct. Kmart will help you ship your pants.
Debbie said Rachel's face when he was talking about using the pot for chickens.
Oh my gosh, Debbie, I'm coming to your house like as soon as he starts that process because I don't think I can watch it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm there. I don't think you were there either.
John said, I remember when fast food restaurants fried everything in blocks of lard.
Me too.
Chris said, look, if it doesn't interfere with Home Assistant on not a smart home device, it's not junk. If it's not a smart home, I'm looking at you, Chamberlain, Mike, Q, garage doors. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I mean, I'm running, I started running Ethernet cable throughout the whole house, and then I decided, hey, wait a second. This house, I can crawl under the house. Why am I going to try to run it through the studs all the way around to get to my office? I can just run it under the house. But for me, everything in the house will be smart. But I'm doing it right. In our old house...
Not everything in the house.
All of the lights... In the old house, all of the lights were like, use Alexa or use Siri. The problem is, the reason we did that is because we had no light switches in our house. The house was built old, and so there were no light switches. All the light switches controlled outlets. In this house, I am in the process of running wire from the light switch up to the ceiling so that we can still manually turn off the light. Because when it's not working, smart lights are a pain in the butt.
They're totally a pain in the butt when they don't want to work.
When you can't turn off the light or turn on the light. So I want a way around it.
Hostage.
But that reminds me, we did get a hate thing, and now I have to do it just for fun, in case this person is listening, that said they really think that we are horrible people because we use the term Alexa and don't actually bleep it out, and that we are being inconsiderate.
Because it sets their thing off. I'm sorry.
Because it set off their thing.
I'm sorry. This half of Two Crazy Ketos is very sorry about that.
Call
it Diane or something.
Lynn said, wasn't fond of smoked turkey. One day it was okay, but I didn't like the leftovers. It's got to be done right.
Lynn, can I just say, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. I am not a huge fan of smoked chicken wings either. I'm sorry.
You always eat the ones that we get at the barbecue place.
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm gonna.
It's got to be done right.
I'm gonna.
If you over smoke them, it's horrible.
But it's like that's not my favorite. I really would rather have them fried. I mean, I'm going to eat meat in pretty much any form, but like, it's not my favorite.
Kathy said, "What are your guys' guests on the Keto Chow mystery flavor?"
Sardines.
We actually already know, so I can't tell you.
It's sardines. Take my word for it.
I'd like it to be peanut butter and jelly, but Miriam will just stop being friends with me if I keep telling her that.
Yeah. We can't risk it.
Trish said, can you really eat Larry? I can eat any one of our birds.
Trish, you know. I don't even have to say it. He is like talking such a big game here. But when it is time to actually dispatch one of your babies.
I have dispatched animals before.
Not since you've had them as pets.
Well, I look at everything on our farm must serve a purpose, and when you don't serve a purpose anymore, you're dinner. Right now, I care if somebody is sick. Like, I don't want our turkey who had an infection, and I don't want her to be sick, and I want to care for her. But when it comes time to make her dinner, I will have no problem doing that. I had no problem being a hunter.
We're gonna see it. Stay tuned on the channel. We'll see if he does it, because I think it's gonna be hard.
Now, I mean, fortunately, we lucked out with these two roosters because we bought them from an auction. And I know roosters could be nasty not only to the birds but to people.
And they're
sweethearts. They don't come up to. They don't like. You can't reach down and pet, and you can't cuddle them. But they don't chase us, and I know of roosters that like literally will go after a human.
Well, and they will sit by us.
Yeah, they will sit by us.
They will sit by us and just hang out. They don't want you to pick them up and cuddle them. but they will sit next to me. So like we hang out all the time, and it's so cute when you know that they're like totally investigating you, but like trying to figure out like, are you really nice? Because I don't know what their previous situation was. It's always there's always a story when someone is getting rid of a rooster, right? Because primarily you want a bunch of hens, but if you get that straight run from Tractor Supply, then you're going to get a bunch of roosters in there.
Chris said, I don't bother injecting anything in a turkey. We pull it apart, serve it in a dish, and I just mix in a bunch of smoked red mint salt. Tastes amazing.
That's smart.
Lisa wants to know, what does brining a turkey? It makes it juicier because basically you're soaking it in salt water. And so it helps to make it juicier, crispy. And it makes it so that it doesn't dry out. Because again, poultry, if you overcook it, will dry out. So it just helps it to not dry out. It kind of helps people not screw it up as easily.
I need that. Yeah. I enjoy that.
Chris said, Linus Tech Tips did a video this week about the problems he's had with smart switches. My Z-Wave smart switches work like a dream. I've tried them all. We're going back to the Amazon one. As much as I like the Siri one because it integrates with our phone and like it all goes in a home thing, there's certain devices that I like that aren't part of the home network, like the Ring. Like we have Ring cameras, Ring doorbell. We have it on the RV. We have one we have them for the house. Ring doesn't integrate with Apple, and so you have to basically use a Raspberry Pi and do an end runaround, and I don't want to have to do that.
It's a Raspberry Pi.
It's a mini computer. It's about this big.
Is it keto?
No. Are you done?
Maybe.
Okay. I think we're done. It's 9:36. Laquetta said, this is my first time animal care. Pigs, chickens, and turkeys, plants for other critters. I literally visit with our creator and hope I'm doing well. So far, they're healthy bacon beds.
Ah, that's cute. I'm proud of you. I think that it's adorable. I love seeing all of your animals. Thank you so much for sharing those pictures in the backyard farmers group of Mighty Networks too.
Chris said, I'm sorry. I'm about to completely ruin the chat. I'm sorry in advance. My marketing team told me, I think it's funny because he's the owner of the company.
I was going to say it.
He's got to get permission from the marketing team.
From them, you own it.
That I am allowed to say there are 3 new flavors of salty coming on Black Friday. That is all I'm saying. So, they're good.
They're good. They're really good. So I would be prepared.
I hope I was allowed to say that.
Well, I mean, he said it first.
Well, was I allowed to say they're good?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's Keto Chow. They're not going to bring them to the marketplace until they're good. Now, is it your favorite flavor? If it is, I can say that peaches and cream is not a flavor. So, which is another reason why I love it. It's not peaches and cream or sardines.
Sean said, "Who's going to stay the pool to guess the new salty flavors?"
What do you think it should be? What do you think would be a good flavor for an electrolyte?
I don't know why it does that.
I don't even know why either.
Lisa said,
"Hey, Lisa.
What temperature should you cook a turkey, and what is the best, low temperature or high temperature?" Low is always better. Low is always going to be better at a lower temperature, because you don't run the risk of drying it out and overcooking it. So especially with something like, not so much with a turkey. Turkey, I like to do it about 300 degrees. But anytime you have a tougher cut of meat, like people talk about, like Vern, for example, the other day, I saw Vern put up a thing like, we eat mostly meat. So Vern and Renee eat mostly meat.
Yeah.
And somebody commented that I tried it, but it was too expensive.
Oh, eating meat.
Eating meat. You don't have to eat steak.
No.
You don't have to eat grass-fed, grass-finished. Grass-fed, grass-finished, I know people think it's the best thing. It's marginally better. It's marginally better.
But I mean, you can find cuts of meat that
if you can't afford ribeye, which we can't afford ribeye.
My lord.
Okay? We buy all our meat up with special price tags on it. Low cost cuts of meat, like chuck roasts and stuff like that, The only difference is you have to cook it a little bit differently. If you take a tough piece of meat, like a chuck roast, and you cook it low and slow, like 225, no more than 250 degrees for a longer period of time, it will come out to be more tender than any brisket, any ribeye you've ever had.
It really will.
It really comes down to low. So anytime you have a tough piece of meat, something with a lot of tendons, like turkey legs, if you like the taste of turkey leg, want that dark meat, but hate all the tendons, like
hate all the tendons.
cook it at a very low temperature for a long period of time, and it literally becomes like eating a turkey breast. But you have to cook it at that low temperature for a long period of time to break down all of those tendons. And that's what happens when you do the beef. So, like, I like turkeys at about 300 degrees until, and that's the other thing, is most people overcook poultry. You do not have to cook your poultry to be 165 to 170 degrees. If you do that, your breast will be dry. You know,
Sounds like an insult.
155 degrees is the perfect temperature. You've killed any foodborne illnesses. I love it. Like, everyone says, you like every warning label, like, beef should only be eaten well done because you're risking foodborne illness.
No.
How many people do you know eat well done beef? I mean, some people do, but most people don't, and you don't have everybody dying.
Well, and I don't want to ruin it by drying it out.
So, but cook your turkey to 155 degrees. Anything over 145 is going to be good.
When you go to somebody else's house for Thanksgiving, besides the turkey, what are you looking for? What do you get excited when you see, assuming keto friendly, on the table ready to eat?
I just want meat.
You just want meat.
Yeah.
You don't no side dishes at all appeal to you.
Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce.
Yeah, I need my cranberry sauce.
I usually like some sort of a broccoli salad. I know that's weird. I don't eat it all the time, but if there's like a broccoli salad, I get excited about it.
Dustin said Liquid IV has a rainbow sorbet sugar-free flavor that I want to try, but I'm not paying $10 for 6. I don't think that their product is very good. I don't think it has nearly enough electrolytes.
But that flavor is interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting flavor.
And oh, by the way, they have maltodextrin in theirs too.
Salty for the win.
So Celisa said, so what temperature should you take the turkey out when it reaches? If I'm shooting for 155 degrees, I'm going to remove it from the heat somewhere when it gets to between 148 and 150 degrees, like right around there. It's going to continue to cook when you take it out. So like 145 degrees would be a good temperature. If you took it out and then put a foil cover over it, it will continue to cook, or at least just turn off the oven.
Turn off the oven and just leave the turkey in the oven?
Yeah. Or wrap it.
Or wrap it with foil.
Chris said brisket is the ultimate example of cheap, tough meat nobody wants that was made into a pastrami and Texas brisket with proper preparation and cooking. Yeah. Brisket, especially if you buy a packer brisket, you can get it for as cheap as $3 to $4 a pound for beef.
I was going to tell you.
The reason brisket's expensive in stores, in restaurants, is because it takes so long to cook it.
I picked up nails this morning, or screws, from Home Depot for Joe, and I noticed that there was a Bravo supermarket, and I went in there, and they were selling the most gorgeous pork belly, and people were buying it by, like, pounds of pork belly, but I was like, ooh,
I should get pork belly tomorrow.
I have a local pork belly.
I pulled out the smoker.
Access.
Jana said, do you wrap it in foil or just leave it on the grill? Are you talking about for brisket? For brisket, we wrap it in foil at 165 degrees. For a turkey, I don't wrap it in foil.
Can we just say, Janice?
I was just going to say.
Congratulations, beautiful lady, and happy retirement. This week, Janice had
Yesterday was her last day.
Yesterday was her last day at Walmart. Yep. So stinking proud of you. Happy that you are moving into this next season of life, and we are wishing you many, many happy years of retirement. I think that's so beautiful.
Debbie said, do you take salty tablets at night before bed and eliminate nighttime bathroom trips? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, if I do a bunch of electrolytes at night, I don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
The magnesium tablets.
If you're getting up in the middle of the night going to the bathroom several times, a lot of times it means you're low on sodium. And I can always tell it's one of the ways I can tell I'm low on electrolytes if I'm getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Okay. Last one before we get off. Shauna said, I'm usually looking for any Thanksgiving meat that is not turkey. Thankfully, my family always makes me an alternate meat.
I lean into beef, honestly. And I also like Sarah G. She's meeting with her brother for Thanksgiving in St. Petersburg this year. And they've traditionally done like egg wrap, egg life, like turkey tacos as like an alternative. But she's like, I'll do any tacos. Thanksgiving tacos don't sound terrible to me.
Okay, we're going to get off. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We got a good video coming out tomorrow. It's actually a talk that we did. So that'll be coming out tomorrow. We have a vlog coming out, and then we will be back on live on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern for Keto Beyond the Couch.
We love you guys.
Bye.